making a stir fry for dinner tonight, and I thought I'd show you how I was going to do it this time. I'm going to be... My dog's playing in the background. Sorry about my dog in the background. She's playing with a toy. I thought I'd show you how I do it this time. It's always a little different for a stir fry, which is one of the best parts for me, is that every stir fry can be a little different depending on what you have on hand. I'm going to start with a roast that I bought yesterday. It is, let me look. It is a sirloin tip roast. Okay. It is a sirloin tip roast that I got yesterday. I was going to use it differently. It was actually buy one get one free at Smith's, so I ended up getting an extra roast I wasn't planning. I didn't have planned into my meals, so I thought I'd just use it for tonight. So I'm just going to slice some pieces of beef right off and start cooking those while I cut up my vegetables. For stir fry, you do want a thinner piece of meat, so just keep that in mind, whether or not you're doing chicken or beef or whatever kind of meat you're doing, whatever cut you're doing, you do want a thinner cut. Alright, now I'm just going to cut super professionally right down the middle because these are kind of long pieces. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a couple tablespoons of olive oil just to be safe to my pan. I just have a deeper pan that I'm going to use, and I do have a wok, but I don't want to dig it out at the moment. Again, being lazy. So I will just be using that pan, and I'm going to start cooking these while I start cutting up my vegetables. I don't want this to cook too quickly because I don't want it to turn out tough. So I did put this on medium heat, and I will cover it up and stir it occasionally. So that it will cook slower, and I at that medium heat. Alright, so I do have that meat cooking and it is covered up. And my hands are washed. I'm going to put a half a cup of water in this bowl. And I'm not going to make my sauce from scratch this time. I'm just going to use a seasoned packet. I am doubling it because I'm making a larger batch of stir fry. And this only is it only serves 4. It just says to add, each packet is 1/4 a cup of water, and then you just mix it all up together. And I just want that prepped before we need it. To our veggies. This part takes a little more time, but using fresh veggies is always preferable with the stir fry because it turns out tasting much better. You do want to cut them thin so they do cook faster. If they're too thick, then they will turn out too crunchy. And you don't want to cut your finger on anything, so I'm going to stop right there. So I had to pause in making and cutting my veggies real quick because I just remembered that I haven't started my rice. I do have a rice cooker because it makes my life easier. If anybody does care to learn how to cook rice not in a rice cooker, I'd be more than willing to show you how to cook different kinds of rice if there's any interest there. It is 3 cups of rice, 6 cups of water for that rice cooker. Moving on, back to vegetables. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a couple carrots at just an angle cut. Okay, and then I'm gonna do an angle cut few stalks of celery as well. Again, not too thick. And I did wash these ahead of time as well. Now when cutting celery, you do want to go down and move forward so you don't get any of the strings. They fall apart easily. Okay, so when I stir that, I just take a pair of tongs and mix it around. It doesn't look super appetizing at the moment. So I'm cooking those pieces as slow as I can so it doesn't get too tough. That is a challenge with meat. Cooking it on the stovetop, it can get tough pretty easily. So you just need to be careful. Alright, so now I'm going to cut some zucchini. Again, at an angle cut. And this is a yellow squash my friend gave me from her garden. It's actually a different kind of yellow squash than I normally get or grow in my garden. I actually don't have a garden this year, which is quite sad, but it is delicious. I need to find out what kind it is so I can grow it next year. Alright, some of my pieces are still a little too long or too big, so I'm going to cut them into smaller pieces as I see them. As some of that liquid goes away. It seems like it pretty much turned out pretty tender. There's a couple of the thicker pieces from the end that are not quite as tender. But considering it came from a roast, I'm pretty happy with it. And that it wasn't cut by a professional. I mean, of course I'm professional. Okay. So I'm going to pour these veggies in. And then going to sweat these for a little bit with the lid on. Alright, I'm going to give this a little stir. Extra vegetables, obviously. Should have used a bigger pan. Carrots are still not quite there. Alright, so I'm just going to turn that heat off. Pour that sauce in here. Make sure I get all of it. Mix that on up. Awesome. So I'm just gonna wait for that rice to finish. And that is a basic stir fry. You can do this with shrimp or chicken or really so many different kinds of vegetables. And there's so many different kinds of sauces too you can use that you can get from scratch, or you know, just have the packages you can get at the store. Like, I'm gonna actually bring dinner over to my sister's house and enjoy this, and you guys have a wonderful day.